First thing I'll say, guys, is there's no right or wrong in this hobby. It's whatever drives your passion, drives you forward, and makes you happy. I'm a point-to-point guy. I think I'd get bored very quickly with the tail chasing layout. Also, when you're limited with space, point-to-point is better. In my humble opinion, point-to-point allows you to operate the layout more prototypically. But then again, people that like to sit and watch their trains fly by with long rakes of carriages, that's fantastic as well. But my feelings are, in order to do justice to that concept, it's better to have a shelf-style layout, which is continuous run, perhaps around a room. So at any given point, you see a specific scene, a single track, sidings like the real thing. I don't have space for that, and I enjoy switching. I believe in Modular's license. To me, that means that things don't always have to be prototypically correct. Either prototypical locations, the exact number of rivets, and perfect details in every model. Modelers come in all shapes and forms. Some have endless amounts of money or budget to buy what they want, to get all the prototypical stock they want. Others at the other end of the scale have limited availability, limited budgets. In my opinion, build a scene, build a railway that makes you happy, that you're happy with, and that's all that matters. Pepper Road, for me, is in a rough location. It has a fictitious freight depot and freight distribution company. Make-believe liveries, things like that. Even locomotives that wouldn't have run. All those kinds of things. Just do what you can do and what makes you happy. That it's all about being creative, building scenes that you're happy with, enjoying all the aspects of the hobby. It's so multifaceted. Some you'll prefer more than others. But in my opinion, a layout needs to operate well. It's got to be fun to operate. It's got to be enjoyable to operate. So, and all the other things come secondary, I believe. Like many modelers, I have had many layouts. I've never actually had a tail chasing or continuous run layout. I've always been probably a bit short of space, so I've favoured point-to-point shunting layouts. I've modelled in just about every scale, short of gauge 1 and G gauge. It's taken me many years to find my true passion, which is O gauge. Is there a right gauge or a wrong gauge? Once again, it's what you're attracted to. It's what gives you a spark and enthusiasm, something to move on. Plus, there are practical aspects to it. Space and your goal of what you want to achieve. So is the fact that we build multiple layouts, perhaps never complete them, move on to another project, move on to another scale. The reasons can be varied. In my case, I can only speak for myself. Over many years of modelling, I have my budget has increased, but also my skills my knowledge of how railways work have changed and improved. So I guess I'd say, like my previous layout, Paddy's Lane, I was dissatisfied with it because I had operational issues. It wouldn't sort of suit my home. There was many little factors there. It was hard to transport. For me, I rent. I also want a layout that I can that is modular. Pepper Road is 2 separate modules that are self-contained. One a master module and can be easily taken apart and put in my... Another reason for my change is, in the past, on nearly all of my layouts, I failed in planning. I failed in basic construction skills, which were partly responsible for planning, because I would build a little module, then decide it was too small, and then need to add on to it, and then not have the funds to actually build it in an identical fashion that the next module clips on perfectly so that the tracks line up, things like that. The overall presentation of the layout were not suitable for exhibiting, were not even suitable to actually have in my living areas. So with this layout, Pepper Road, finally a lot of things have clicked. And so when I say that I'm super happy with it, and I have put money, time, it's not going to be discarded once I supposedly get bored. This layout has ticked all the boxes. And I guess going on to the planning side of things, the concept I've come up with to actually give me a facility to have new building projects and scenery projects for the future without undoing what I already have is this modular shelf concept, the 1200 by 30 to 40 centimetres. Because module number 1, which you're seeing on the screen with the class 122 running backwards and forwards on the shuttle system, by it still needs a little bit of work with the clip-on cassette, off-scene cassette, because sometimes it stops short. But this module is the master module, has the storage, has all the electronics built into it, fixes onto the layout in about 2 places, lifts off, can go in the back of a car easily. And because it's the master module, because it's a head shunt, which is necessary in most, or if not all, switching operations, and has my heritage line with an automatic shuttle system, if I want a new project or I want a new scene, all I have to do is build an identical module to the size and specifications that module 2 is built now, and being very compact, I can remove the one I'm working on now, conceivably, put another one in its place with a different track configuration, different scenery, different buildings, and actually operate another scene. And so that's a way of modelling without sort of wasting your hard-earned money on wood, timber, and even track that perhaps gets ruined when you try and remove off a board. So yeah, this concept has room for expansion in the future. It could be incorporated into a big L shape or a big U shape around the room layout. But at the moment, it ticks every box. It's presentable, it's modular, and when I move to a better flat or a house in the future, it's easily movable, easily transportable to exhibitions, and it's not fixed to walls. It's not subject to damage or many problems that come with a permanently built layout into a room, which can oftentimes